and not just fundraising, but fundraising for this particular issue. We are reproductive rights and, abortion access. And even though the majority of Americans and the majority of folks who live in North Carolina um, don't want to see restrictions to abortion access or other aspects of reproductive health and rights and care, um, it's a hard subject to talk about. And so when you're just having a conversation, or when you're trying to um, connect people with what you do, they're likely to shut down. And especially here, I'm in the Bible Belt. I live in North Carolina, where um, even talking about birth control and just general comprehensive sex education, like, people are not trying to hear that. So being in this place and, working with this particular cause, um, that's probably the hardest part. And getting people um, to say what they feel, because you'll have folks who say, well, I don't think that the government should, be involved, or I think folks should have access to whatever care they need, but don't quote me.
Mm.
Don't, like, I'm not going to, I don't want to write, an op-ed. I don't want to do a blog post. I don't want to be at your event. But they feel they're on your side, but they don't feel free to talk about it. And that's one of the things that Pro-Choice North Carolina works really hard at. It's like, you know, getting rid of that stigma and breaking down those barriers, and letting people know that it's like, it's no different than saying I had an abortion should be no more traumatizing than saying I broke my arm or I had cancer. We feel free to talk about those things, but we don't feel free to talk about, even like the type of birth control that you use. Like, those things are, taboo. And I think that's the hardest part.